In the Tower of London, behind 3 inches of reinforced glass, sits a diamond. It weighs 105.6 carats. Its name means Mountain of Light, and it has not seen India in 175 years. Every year, millions of tourists file past it. They photograph it. They admire it. Almost none of them know the full story of how it got there. The official version is simple. It was gifted to Queen Victoria in 1850 through a signed legal treaty, a peaceful transfer between 2 sovereign parties. The real version is something else entirely. The person who signed that treaty was 10 years old. His mother had been imprisoned by the British the year before. He had no lawyer, and the diamond he signed away had been in his family for over 200 years. This is the Kohinoor, and this is what the historical record actually shows. Nobody knows exactly when the Kohinoor was first pulled from the earth. The most widely cited origin is the Koh-i-Noor mine on the banks of the Kohinoor River in what is now the Indian state of Andhra Pradesh. Historians date this to sometime before or during the 13th century, pulled from the riverbed by a miner who had no idea what he was holding. In its original rough form, the diamond weighed approximately 186 carats by the measurement of the time. To understand that size, the average diamond in an engagement ring is less than 1 carat. This stone was nearly 200 times larger. For the next 500 years, the Kohinoor passed from dynasty to dynasty across India, each time through war, each time through conquest, each time leaving destruction behind it. The diamond had a reputation. Every ruler who owned it either conquered the world or lost everything trying. By 1628, it had found its most famous home. The Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan, the man who built the Taj Mahal, had it set into the centerpiece of his legendary peacock throne. That throne took 7 years to build. According to court records, it cost 4 times more than the Taj Mahal itself. And at its very peak, blazing above the emperor's head, sat the Kohinoor. For 100 years, the Mughal Empire kept the diamond. And then, in 1739, came Nader Shah. The Persian ruler invaded Delhi with an army that destroyed the Mughal defenses in hours. What followed was a massacre. Ranjit Singh wore the Kohinoor on his arm at every public appearance for 26 years. It was not just jewelry. It was a statement. Whoever holds the Kohinoor holds the right to rule. Ranjit Singh died in 1839, and everything fell apart for rulers in 4 years, each one dying in suspicious circumstances. Assassination, mysterious accidents, palace coups, a decade of chaos that left only one person standing, a boy named Duleep Singh. He was 5 years old when he became Maharaja. The British East India Company had been watching, patiently, carefully, waiting for exactly this moment. In 1845 and again in 1848, the company launched military campaigns against the weakened Sikh Empire. After 2 brutal wars, the British forces prevailed. Punjab fell, and the last ruler of the Sikh Empire was brought before British officials. His name was Duleep Singh. He was 10 years old. His mother, Rani Jindan, the one person who might have protected him, had been arrested by the British the previous year and imprisoned in a fort 200 miles away. She was not permitted to see her son. The British placed a document before the boy, the Treaty of Lahore. Article 3 read as follows. The gem called the Kohinoor, which was taken from Shah Sujal Mulk by Maharaja Ranjit Singh, shall be surrendered by the Maharaja of Lahore to the Queen of England. Historians William Dalrymple and Anita Anand describe the moment in their book Kohinoor. With little choice, the 10-year-old obediently scratched his name on the document. He was a child. He had no legal counsel. His mother was in a British prison. The Kohinoor was wrapped in cloth, placed in a small box, and carried by British officials overland to Bombay. From Bombay, it sailed on a British ship called the Medea. It arrived in England on the 29th of June 1850. 4 days later, it was formally presented to Queen Victoria at Buckingham Palace. The date had been chosen deliberately. It was the 250th anniversary of the East India Company. A trophy, presented on cue, to mark the occasion. Victoria wore it as a brooch. Contemporary accounts describe her as finding the diamond underwhelming by European standards. It lacked brilliance, observers noted. It did not sparkle enough. And so in 1852, Prince Albert made a decision that many Indian historians describe as an act of cultural vandalism. He ordered the diamond to be recut. The royal jeweler Garrett of London was given the Kohinoor. The recutting was supervised by Prince Albert himself alongside the Duke of Wellington. The cutting took 38 days. When it was finished, the diamond had gone from approximately 186 carats to 105.6 carats. 80 carats of Indian history, ground into dust on a London workshop floor. Duleep Singh grew up in England. He was given a comfortable house, a British education, and a British guardian. He converted to Christianity in 1853. He met Queen Victoria regularly. She was fond of him. She had him photographed in his Sikh royal clothing. He was, to the British court, a curiosity, a prince without a kingdom, a boy without a mother. But as Duleep Singh grew older, something changed. He began reading. He began asking questions. He began to understand what the historical record showed had been done to him as a child in that room in Lahore. He reconverted to Sikhism in 1886. He wrote formally to the British government demanding the return of his ancestral lands, his mother, and the Kohinoor. He described himself as a prisoner of the British Empire. He attempted to travel to India. The British authorities turned his ship around at Aden. He never reached India. He died in Paris on the 22nd of October, 1893. He was 55 years old. He never saw the Kohinoor again. Today, the Kohinoor sits in the crown of the Queen Mother, behind 3 inches of bulletproof glass, in the Tower of London. India, Pakistan, Iran, and Afghanistan have all formally claimed it. Each claim has been refused. Britain's legal argument is straightforward. The Treaty of Lahore was a legal document. It was signed. Therefore, Britain owns the diamond lawfully. India's counter-argument, and the argument of many international legal scholars, is equally straightforward. For any contract to be legally valid, conditions must be met. Informed consent, the capacity to understand what is being signed, the absence of coercion, a signatory who is of legal age. Duleep Singh was 10 years old. His mother was in a British prison. He had no legal representation. The British Army had already defeated his kingdom before he entered that room. Many legal scholars argue that a document signed under these conditions has no legitimate legal standing. The British government disagrees, and it is worth noting that in 2016, the government of India's own submission to the Supreme Court stated the diamond was, in their words, neither stolen nor forcibly taken away. The legal and historical debate continues to this day. What is not in dispute is what Lord Dalhousie himself believed. According to historians William Dalrymple and Anita Anand, the Governor-General who personally oversaw the transfer described the Kohinoor in private correspondence as a spoil of war. Not a gift, not a legal transfer, a spoil of war. The man who took it said so himself. In writing. In 1983, Britain made their position permanent. Parliament passed the National Heritage Act, which makes it illegal for national institutions to permanently remove objects from their collections. In other words, they passed a law making it illegal to give back what was taken. The Kohinoor is not coming back anytime soon, not because India's claim is without merit, but because returning it would require Britain to publicly acknowledge a version of history they have spent 175 years carefully managing. A child signed a piece of paper, with his mother in prison, with a defeated army outside the door. And whether you call that a legal transfer or something else entirely, depends on which side of the glass you are standing on. The diamond is still there, behind its glass, in its crown, 105.6 carats, waiting. If this file deserved to be opened, share it with someone who needs to see it.